how would you sum up the week and just kind of the grind that you had to pull out both victories?
Just shows the growth and the maturity of this group. They just continue to get better. That's not an easy trip. It's a really long trip. We got back yesterday around 5 p.m. And so we got to Seattle around 2 a.m. Friday morning. But that's the best part about having, veteran players, leadership. They've done this trip many times. And when it came down to it, when it came down to crunch time, they just really took care of business, offensively, defensively. So I was pleased.
Did Brooke kind of take over for you too in the fourth quarter?
She did. Bree McDaniels did it. She was really key. I mean, that five that was out there, it was Dominique Mills, Gia Pack, Nike, Adarento, Bree, and then Brooke. They're out there. I mean, they played probably the final 12 minutes, and they just, I'm sure they were tired, but you couldn't tell. Like, they were determined to win that game, to not, especially at Seattle.
How do you handle this lead with your team right now with 4 left to play and up 3?
Next game on the schedule is the most important. We just talk about we can't control anything but us, energy and effort, and I think they've just continued to do that. Just keep their head down, and that next game is the most important. We can't get too far ahead of ourselves, and I think, I talk about them when you want to be involved in the conversation for a championship. You're playing for a championship every day, every play, every possession. And so that's just kind of what I continue to tell them, and they reiterate it with what they've been doing.
What did you think of, I guess, looking back at Thursday, just kind of the way you guys weathered the storm in the fourth quarter? I think you were up 18 at one point. They cut it to 4 before you were able to push it out back.
Basketball is a game of runs. What I liked is I didn't have to call a timeout. When you have leadership, when you have kids that kind of follow suit for your leaders, they have that calmness about them. And so, I kind of try to take a pulse, and they had it. They really just handled every possession that they needed to. And if they made a mistake, they got it back on the other end. And they didn't get rattled, which Utah Valley is a really good basketball team. So I was proud of both games, different games, but I was proud just how they approached it and handled it.
Is there anything in particular that you guys are working on this, week off here between games?
The kids get today off just because we got back so late, and I think that's important, for their minds, for their bodies, for school. And then, tomorrow when we get back on the floor, we're just going to focus on us. There's plenty of things that we could work on or tweak or, kind of just freshen up on. So we're excited about that because it's just going to be all about us. We're not going to be introducing the next opponent. Now we can kind of throw things at them that UTRGV will do. But it's awesome when you can kind of we'll watch both games, clips, good O, bad O, good D, bad D tomorrow, and then get on the floor and just kind of compete and get after it and not really have to focus on another opponent yet, at least not till Wednesday, Thursday.
Does anything surprise you about the lead that you have in the conference, or are you where, like, at the beginning of conference play, did you see yourself with a little bit of a cushion here at this stage?
I guess no lead is big enough for me. No, that's just I think any coach. But I mean, you have Brooke, you have Gia, you have you have a bunch of kids with Bree, with the twins, who have been, whether it's here or other places, have done the grind, have been, other places, and they've been through this. Especially Brooke and Gia, who have been through this, 3 times, 4 times. So I think that's just really showing is their leadership, their maturity, and having been through it. And the good thing is, to our younger kids, they follow suit. They really look to our leaders and try to do what they do. So this team gets along really well. And they just keep continuing to grow and get better, which, as a coach, I love seeing that.
How are you obviously you have a chance to clinch the WAC 1 seed on Saturday. how are you guys kind of approaching that situation with the team?
One game at a time. That next game is the most important, and kind of what I said. You're playing for a championship every game, every play, every possession, and what we can control again is just our effort and energy. You go out there and you give the best of those. 9 times out of 10, you're gonna win. It's gonna be a good result, and when our kids just go out and play, most of the time it's a good result. When they play free, when they just get after it, I'm happy with what I see. Not mistake free or error free, but it's just, they compete. That's the one. There's a lot of things I really like about this group, but they compete. They hate to lose more than they like to win.
Any more questions for Coach?
Coach, you made this trip last year. Is this one of the tougher trips to make because of how hard Edinburgh is to get to, and also how hard UTRGV plays every year?
Yeah, I mean, the good thing is it's a single game, so you're going for 2 nights instead of 5 or 4. So that's the good thing. But yeah, you fly to Houston, and then it's another full flight down there. Last year was my first time there, and they play hard. They'll have a really good crowd, and they're just scrappy. So, it's going to be a battle, and we have to go in there knowing that it's going to be a fight. And I know this team they'll take that head on. I'm absolutely positive of that. So, again, I tell these young ladies, I'll take you any day of the week. My money is on you guys. So, again, we'll just focus on us this week and getting better and know what we have. We're going to have a tough one Saturday.